So where does the writing come into things then? Where does this Divot and Swish in the book, where does that, between getting your doctorate and now?
Yeah, where does that come in? That's a great question. I've got to pause because I was watching a series. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I was watching a Netflix series the other night, a few episodes, and it was one of those that goes back and forth from the present to the past. So I'm going to see if I can do that to make my answer shorter. But, I really think getting a basketball in my hand literally when I was 2. People tell stories of me dribbling with 2 hands at mid-court watching my dad's team practice. 2, fast forward to 8, then all of a sudden I've got golf. And so if you start there and then all the experiences I had with sport were generally very positive. I had, a couple of negative experiences in college that helped you really appreciate the good ones. And then this idea of, we talked about me getting my degree in letters, and a lot of that was about writing skills. And I've always loved to write. When I was a kid, I loved to read, was always at the library in the summer, rode my bike there, a little town across the railroad tracks, was at the library all morning reading, would go home, have lunch, and then go to the swimming pool. And so reading and writing have always been fun and something I enjoy. And then sport as well, right? And so if you kind of lay that as the foundation, it starts to make more sense. If you fast forward to about 15 or so years ago, and I was married at the time, still very dear friends with my ex-husband, and his name's Rudy Duran. That might ring a bell. He was Tiger Woods' first coach.
Oh, really?
And so wow. So anyway, we were in a bookstore and we were looking at children's books, and I always loved Dr. Seuss. And we were looking at books, and I don't remember what he said, and I was just like, well, I'm going to write a children's book series one day. And he goes, oh, yeah, right. Well, what is it going to be? And I go, I said it. I said adventures. I said but it was close enough. Adventures of Divot and Swish. And he goes, oh, that sounds kind of cool. He goes, what's that going to be? And I said, well, I don't know all the stories, but, of course, Divot's a golf ball and Swish is a basketball net, and they're gonna have some adventures. I don't know what it is yet, right? And so then fast forward to as I worked for the First Tee headquarters for 15 years, and my role there was basically education. I was training coaches, training adults to coach kids and coach youth. Kind of from those ages 5 to 17. The developmental appropriateness of sport and things. Great program. The First Tee. We have First Tee of Oklahoma City here, and First Tee of Tulsa in Oklahoma. So 2 of my favorite chapters. But I was working for the headquarters, and so had lots of great experiences. I did a lot of writing curriculum and things, and so once I started my own business a couple of years ago, I had more opportunity, more time to say, hey, what's really important to me? And one of the things that's important to me is, helping adults, whether it's parents, coaches, educators, teachers, who are working with kids to help them maximize their impact. And so I actually... it's one of those things you think about over and over the years, and I would talk secretly to my friends and say, hey, I'm thinking about, doing this. And they're like, oh, yeah. Some of them were encouraging. Some thought I was crazy. And then, finally, what kind of put me over the edge was I was at a women's leadership luncheon at the Chamber of Commerce down in Norman, and a lady named Jill Donovan, who's the owner of Rustic Cuff out of Tulsa.
Oh, yeah.
She was the speaker, and she talked about her journey about being a law professor, and she got embarrassed on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she ended up starting making these cuffs for therapy and giving them to her friends. The next thing, fast forward.
Now she's a massive business.
Massive business, but it was not all of a sudden. It was a step by step. I remember her saying that, and she didn't have any idea what she was doing, basically.
It's 15 years of overnight success.
Right? And so I talked to her after she spoke, and I said, I'm gonna start this book after listening to you. It was just the right person saying the right thing at the right time. For some people, they might relate. Sometimes when you're in church, if you go to church, the preacher's preaching, you're like, oh, you're looking around, he's talking to me or she's talking to me. So anyway, and so then, I started. I set aside some dates on my calendar, and so all of that to say, I'm getting into the weeds, as my friends would say. But I think the mission, of Divot and Swish is to inspire families and kids to have fun, become more active, and to learn life lessons through sports. And so if you think about where I started, basketball I handed to, golf club at 8, to my work with the First Tee headquarters, really it all has led to this. And so if I could do one thing, I would just be out there. With coaches and teachers and parents and kids, and sharing the story of Divot and Swish.
That's awesome.
Which I'm going to get to do later this week. I'm doing my first in-person book adventures at Muldrow Elementary, my old, where I went to high school. So I'll be there Thursday and Friday this week.